Some things in life can't be explained, no matter how much we try. A flickering streetlight, a whisper in an empty room, a shadow moving where no person should be. But then, there are the moments caught on camera. Moments that don't just send shivers down your spine, but make you question everything you thought was real. These aren't blurry hoaxes or obvious fakes. These are real encounters, bone-chilling, unexplainable, and enough to make even the biggest skeptic take a second look. From creatures that shouldn't exist to eerie figures lurking just beyond the light, here are 15 real-life encounters that will make you believe in monsters. Number 15. The cave humanoid. Some places are better left unexplored. That's a lesson one cave explorer learned the hard way in 2023. While documenting an uncharted cave in a remote location, an explorer's headlamp flickered, casting shadows on the damp walls. That's when he saw it. A gaunt, skeletal figure with sunken eyes, hairless skin, and a jaw that stretched unnaturally wide. The creature let out a guttural, inhuman sound, sending him into full-blown survival mode. He sprinted back, his camera capturing glimpses of long, bony limbs moving unnaturally fast. The footage cut off abruptly, but not before showing the creature lurking in the darkness, motionless, watching. When the video surfaced, experts were divided. Some called it a lost human species, others pointed to an undiscovered predator, and some even suggested supernatural origins. But the scariest part? The cave's location was never revealed, leaving the question open. What else is still hiding down there? Number 14. The Yeti. The Yeti, also known as the Abominable Snowman, is the Himalayan cousin of Bigfoot, but with a frosty twist. Locals have spoken of a massive ape-like creature roaming the snowy peaks for centuries, but the world didn't take notice until 1951, when mountaineers Eric Shipton and Michael Ward photographed enormous footprints on Mount Everest. At 13 inches long and twice as wide as a human foot, these prints were too big for a bear, or any known species. But that wasn't the first clue. In 1937, explorer Frank Smythe also captured similar tracks on film, but skeptics brushed them off as bear prints distorted by the wind. The 1951 images, however, were harder to dismiss, and the legend of the Yeti roared back to life. Fast forward to 2019, when the Indian Army tweeted a photo of fresh Yeti tracks discovered near Makalu Base Camp. Experts debated the evidence, but for believers, it was another sign that something massive still lurks in the Himalayas. Despite modern technology, we still haven't caught a Yeti on camera in full detail. Are they real, myth, or a relic of evolution? Well, let us know. Number 13, the skunk ape. Florida's got Disney, alligators, and a Bigfoot that smells like absolute death? That's right. The skunk ape is Florida's answer to Sasquatch, except way smellier and way harder to pin down. Described as a 7-foot-tall, rusty red primate, the skunk ape first gained notoriety in the 1960s and 70s, with sightings popping up all over the Everglades. But in 2000, cryptid legend Dave Shealy filmed what he claimed was the elusive creature wandering through the swamp. The footage went viral, triggering skeptic debates and media frenzies. Then things got even weirder. That same year, an anonymous letter sent to the Sarasota Sheriff's Department included 2 eerie photos of a large, ape-like creature lurking in someone's backyard. People freaked out. Was this proof? A hoax? An escaped zoo animal? And in 2012, thermal imaging from Torreya State Park picked up an unknown primate-like figure, adding more fuel to the fire. Now, some skeptics blame bears, misidentified orangutans, or swamp gas-induced hallucinations. But one thing's for sure, if the skunk ape is real, you'll smell it before you see it. Number 12, the rooftop watcher. Imagine looking out your window and seeing something perched on your roof, watching you. Well, sure, it gives a feeling of terror, and that's exactly what happened to a young girl in 2022, and the footage still haunts the internet. Described as a thin humanoid with patchy feathers, elongated ears, and disturbingly large glowing eyes, the rooftop watcher didn't just lurk, it stared, unmoving, as if studying her. Neighbors who reviewed the footage were split. Some claimed it was a mutated owl, others whispered about government experiments gone wrong, and the most terrifying theory? A being not from this world. Experts analyzed the footage but found no definitive answers. No known animal matched its features, and no logical explanation surfaced. The creature vanished just as mysteriously as it appeared, but the fear it left behind, still very real. Because if something was watching her that night, who else is it watching? Number 11. The Loch Ness Monster. Now, as kids, we've all imagined discovering a hidden world, a secret portal, a forgotten cave, maybe even a mysterious creature lurking beneath the water. Well, in Scotland, that creature has a name: Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. First recorded in the 6th century Scottish folklore, Nessie exploded into global fame in 1933 when a local reported seeing something enormous moving beneath the water. A year later, the infamous surgeon's photo emerged, seemingly capturing her long, snake-like neck poking out of the loch. Decades later, that image was exposed as a hoax, just a toy submarine with a fake head. But by then, Nessie had become unstoppable. In 1960, Tim Dinsdale filmed a shadowy mass gliding through the water, adding more fuel to the legend. Skeptics claim it's seals, logs, or optical illusions, but believers hold on to the idea of a prehistoric plesiosaur hiding in the loch's depths. If Nessie exists, where does she hide? And seriously, why in the age of HD cameras is every Nessie photo still blurry? Number 10. The Ningen. The Ningen is the stuff of frozen nightmares, a pale, humanoid sea creature supposedly lurking beneath the Antarctic waves. First whispered about in Japanese internet forums, this eerie being was allegedly spotted by a whaling crew who described it as having a whale-like body with disturbingly human features, arms, legs, and even tentacle-like appendages. Then came the supposed Google Earth sighting. A satellite image showed something massive beneath the South Atlantic, sending cryptid lovers into a frenzy. Some claim it's a new deep-sea species. Others say it's just a mix of ice formations and overactive imaginations. And let's be a bit real. Antarctica is the perfect hideout for something unknown. Almost no one goes there unless they have a really good reason, and who's going to dive into freezing, monster-infested waters just to debunk a legend? So, is the Ningen a government cover-up, a super-evolved sea creature, or just some guy in a really bad scuba suit? We don't know. And if you know, will let us know. Number 9. The Skinwalker of Punjab. Skinwalkers are terrifying enough in Native American folklore, but in 2023, the legend took a chilling turn in Punjab, India. It all started with a viral video. A young boy seemingly transforming into a dog in the middle of a crowded village. At first, viewers dismissed it as an internet hoax, but then a second video surfaced. This time, the footage showed a group of villagers encountering multiple humanoid figures crawling eerily on all fours, blocking their path. Their unnatural movements and glowing eyes sent shivers down the spines of anyone watching. The videos sparked a wave of fear and speculation, with some insisting it was proof of supernatural beings, while skeptics called it a well-executed hoax. However, locals in Punjab took the sightings seriously, linking them to ancient folklore warning of shapeshifters that stalk the night. In 2024, researchers attempted to debunk the footage using AI analysis, but the results were inconclusive. Number 8. The Solway Firth Spaceman. Imagine taking a simple family photo only to discover something impossible in the background. That's exactly what happened to Jim Templeton in 1964, and decades later, his eerie photo remains unexplained. While enjoying a quiet afternoon with his daughter in Burgh Marsh, England, Templeton snapped a few pictures. But when he developed the film, one shot sent chills down his spine. Standing right behind his daughter was a mysterious, white-clad humanoid figure that looked like an astronaut. Templeton swore that no one else had been there, and the figure didn't appear in any other shots. Skeptics theorized that it was just his wife, distorted by overexposure, but the image didn't match up with that explanation. Things took a weirder turn when Templeton was visited by two mysterious men in black suits, who asked probing questions about the photograph. Was it an alien, a government cover-up, or an interdimensional anomaly? Even in 2025, the Solway Firth spaceman remains one of the most bizarre photographic mysteries ever recorded. Number 7. The Jersey Devil. Born from a curse, raised by legends, and feared by generations, the Jersey Devil is New Jersey's most terrifying export. The story dates back to 1735, when Mother Leeds, a woman with 12 children, cursed her 13th unborn child. When the baby was born, it reportedly morphed into a monstrous creature, with leathery wings, a goat-like head, cloven hooves, and a high-pitched scream that could shatter your nerves. It flew up the chimney and vanished into the Pine Barrens, where it's been haunting New Jersey ever since. In 1909, a massive wave of sightings had people panic-locking their doors, claiming the Jersey Devil was attacking trolleys, leaving hoof prints in the snow, and scaring the absolute hell out of everyone. Skeptics blame sandhill cranes, kangaroos, or folklore spun out of control, but locals know better. Reports of eerie screeches, livestock killings, and shadowy winged figures persist to this day. Number 6. The Flatwoods Monster. It's September 12, 1952, in the small town of Flatwoods, West Virginia. A bright, fiery object streaks across the sky and crashes into a local farm. Naturally, a group of curious townsfolk, including two brothers, their mom, and a National Guardsman, decide to check it out. What they saw still haunts UFO lore to this day. 10-foot-tall creature with glowing red eyes, a spade-shaped head, and long, claw-like hands. Even worse, it hissed at them and released a nauseating mist that made several people sick. Panic ensued. The local sheriff investigated, the story hit newspapers, and theories flew. Was it an alien, a mutated creature, or just an owl casting a terrifying shadow? Whatever the case, the Flatwoods Monster remains one of the most terrifying extraterrestrial legends ever recorded. So if you're ever in West Virginia and see something with red eyes in the woods, just remember, it might not be a bird. Number 5. Trunco. Meet Trunco, one of the most bizarre and frustrating cryptid cases ever. In 1924, a massive white-furred creature washed up on a beach in South Africa. Locals swore it had a trunk-like snout, flippers, and was the size of a bus. Even crazier, they claimed they had seen it battling killer whales in the ocean before washing ashore. And here's where it gets insane. For 10 straight days, people just stood around and looked at it. No scientist examined it, no one took proper samples, and eventually, the tide dragged it back into the ocean, never to be seen again. Years later, blurry photos surfaced, and modern researchers now believe Trunco was probably just a decomposing whale carcass. Logical? Yes. Disappointing? Absolutely. Because let's be real, if you see something that looks like a giant furry elephant mixed with a sea monster, you'd at least poke it with a stick, right? But nope, Trunco just vanished, taking his secrets with him. Number 4. The Dover Demon. The Dover Demon sounds like a made-up urban legend, but multiple terrified eyewitnesses swear otherwise. On April 21, 1977, 17-year-old Bill Bartlett was driving through Dover, Massachusetts, when his headlights caught something bizarre perched on a stone wall. It was 4 feet tall, hairless, with glowing orange eyes, spindly limbs, and an oversized melon-shaped head. No nose, no mouth, just staring. That same night, John Baxter and Abby Brabham reported seeing the exact same thing, only a few miles away. All 3 teenagers drew eerily similar sketches, and Bartlett even swore on a stack of Bibles that he wasn't making it up. Skeptics brushed it off as a hoax, a misidentified animal or teen hysteria, but others pointed to eerie similarities with the 1955 Kelly Hopkinsville alien encounter. Some say it was a snowy owl, others claim a deformed baby moose. But the Dover demon remains one of cryptid folklore's most chilling mysteries. Number 3, Bigfoot. Bigfoot isn't just a cryptid, it's a cultural phenomenon. Whether you believe it or not, the legend of this towering, ape-like creature has fueled thousands of eyewitness reports, debates, and yes, memes. The most famous evidence? The 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film is a shaky but chilling video showing a large, hairy figure striding through the forests of Northern California. The creature even pauses to glance back at the camera, almost as if saying, "You'll never catch me." Skeptics argue the footage is just a guy in a costume, but believers insist the creature's movement is too natural to be faked. Over the decades, reports of strange howls, massive footprints, and tree structures have kept the Bigfoot debate alive. In 2023, a park ranger in Washington captured thermal drone footage of a giant bipedal figure, reigniting the Bigfoot craze. Number 2, the Flatwoods Monster. Now picture this. A fiery light streaks across the sky, crashing into a West Virginia hillside. Sounds like the start of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, for Flatwoods, West Virginia, it was terrifyingly real. On September 12, 1952, 2 brothers, Edward and Fred May, along with their friend Tommy Heyer, raced to the crash site, dragging their mom, Kathleen May, and a National Guardsman, Eugene Lemon, with them. What they found? Nightmare fuel. Standing 10 feet tall, the Flatwoods Monster had glowing eyes, a blood-red face, claw-like hands, and a metallic spade-shaped head. It glided eerily, hissing and releasing a nauseating mist. Theories ran wild. Alien, secret experiment, or just a misidentified barn owl? The mystery remains unsolved. Number 1, the Mothman. Imagine driving down a dark road when suddenly a massive winged figure with glowing red eyes starts chasing your car. That's exactly what happened to the terrified residents of Point Pleasant, West Virginia in 1966. The creature, dubbed the Mothman, was reported multiple times, lurking on rooftops, swooping over cars, and scaring the absolute hell out of everyone. Then, on December 15, 1967, tragedy struck. The Silver Bridge, which connected Ohio and West Virginia, suddenly collapsed, killing 46 people. Many believed the Mothman sightings were an omen of disaster. Was he a warning, a supernatural entity, or just some really big bird that needed to mind its business? The legend didn't end there. In 2016, new photos surfaced, supposedly showing the Mothman flying over Point Pleasant once again. Was it a hoax or a comeback tour? Well, no one knows, except God. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you find this video interesting, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. And stay away from dark places.